Hello, my loves. I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you so much for being here, where we are talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse. And this video is about how we have to stop defending narcissists, right, and actually start to heal. So, defending the narcissist. Why do we do this? Because the narcissist has conditioned you to believe that this is all your fault. You know, that it's your fault that they abuse you. If they cheat on you, it's because of something you did. If they lie to you, if they gaslight you, it's because you're difficult to talk to. If they, you know, whatever it is, if they hurt your feelings, it's because you're too sensitive and emotional. And the undercurrent is always that there's something wrong with you, so that you don't look at that there's something terribly wrong with them. So what I want you to do here and know here is that defending the narcissist comes from our compassion and empathy, right? So many of us, I was talking on the video yesterday about how so many of us are trying to understand why they do the things that they do. And that's not coming from, you know, a bad place. That's coming from the fact that we love, you know, we want to understand people and give them the best chance. We want to understand why they're behaving a certain way. It's very hard for us to accept that narcissists are just evil, right? And that's why they do what they do. So part of the defending of them as well is that the narcissist projects an illusion in the love bombing stage of who they are and the relationship with you, right? Which they then devalue and discard and put you in a trauma bond. But part of the reason we defend them is because we're defending the shared fantasy, the shared illusion, the projection, right? Cognitive dissonance happens in the brain when we can't hold two opposing ideas. So, you know, I can't hold on a psychological level, my dad loves me, my dad abuses me. And I can't hold everyone loves my dad and he's an abusive, aggressive person, right? Because the whole thing is gaslighting and confusion. You know, they're Jekyll and Hyde. So the brain can't hold those ideas, right? And we defend them because of the cognitive dissonance. But to break the cognitive dissonance is really important, right? We have to admit to ourselves, no, this behavior is awful. We have to educate ourselves. We have to understand that whether we, you know, what is good for us and what isn't good for us. So breaking the cognitive dissonance is a big part of this, right? And seeking more to do what's right and healthy for us than to understand why they are the way they are. If you watch my videos, I've got hundreds on here, you'll understand exactly why they are the way they are, and that there's nothing you can do to fix them or wake them up, right? They like what they do. They think it makes them superior to you. They're actually getting off on it. So the thing is, defending the narcissist, one, that adds to the isolation. A lot of the reason why, you know, narcissists will purposely isolate you from people, but a lot of the reason it's hard for other people to understand what's going on with us in these cycles is because we will often, I know I did, really defend our abusers. And it is part of the trauma bond. It is part of what they're doing to you psychically, emotionally, and actually biologically, because the trauma bond literally messes up our system. It makes us very attached to our abusers, right? So it is so layered in this part, because one is the cognitive dissonance, two is the trauma bond and what it does, three is the shared fantasy and illusion that we've brought into, right? All of it is like affecting our psyche. So then we often end up isolated from people because we want to defend the undefendable. So the first way to break cognitive dissonance is just to be really real with what's going on, to educate ourselves, to remind ourselves, to bring our conscious mind along, then break the psychic ties, right? And just intend not to defend the undefendable. A lot of us, you know, I mean, I grew up in an abusive household, narcissistically abusive, so this was normalised. I had an extraordinary pain tolerance and an extraordinary tolerance for the intolerable. Right? We get conditioned, and even if you haven't grown up like that, just getting into an abusive relationship, it happens bit by bit. They erode you bit by bit. All of a sudden, you're putting up with behaviours that you said you'd never put up with, right? Because it happens gradually a lot of the time, especially with the more covert ones, right? So, and a lot of it's passive aggression and neglect, and not things we necessarily recognise immediately as abuse. So what's most important here is how we feel. What's most important is, am I becoming more of myself here? Or am I losing myself bit by bit, day by day? You know, that will tell us everything. Yeah, it's like, you know, like some foods make you feel great, some foods make you feel bloated and gassy and horrible, right? If we would listen to our bodies more, and understand that our well-being is everything. Our well-being affects our energetic match in the universe. It affects our mood, our attitude, our health, right? So we can't afford this. It's too expensive to be gradually broken down. That's what's happening in a narcissistically abusive relationship. We're being broken down day by day, inch by inch, second by second, hour by hour. And then we've lost time. We've lost so much time, and we're, having to heal. So what we want to do is break the cognitive dissonance. What we want to do is stop defending the undefendable. It's better off just to recognize that this is bad behavior. You're better off to tell a friend, look, yeah, I know this is not good, and I'm working on myself right now to break myself free. It's better to do that than vehemently defend them. I know I defended them for years because I was in this shared fantasy. I believed that there was some kind of love. I mean, it was like an addiction. It's an enmeshment, right? So it's a bit like an addict would defend or excuse why they've used drugs or alcohol again. Yeah, there's a reason for it, but it's not necessarily healthy. So just know that this is part of the symptom of the abuse. Just work on coming into the actual truth, the real truth, not the projected truth of what the narcissist has sold you, a lie, and put you in this illusion, right? Start coming into your body more. Keep educating yourself. Come into sovereignty if you can. It will break this for good. And just start trusting yourself again. Be really real with yourself. Are you losing yourself, or are you coming into more of yourself? Are you being more of your authenticity? Do you feel powerful? Do you feel alive? Do you feel connected? Do you feel, vibrant and turned on by life? Or are you just feeling more and more disconnected every day? Now, the narcissist is detached from their soul. They try and disconnect you from your essence and who you really are. So you want to break that, right? And just know that it's not your fault. This has nothing to do with you. It's everything to do with them. But defending them is part of the problem. We will often go to great lengths to defend the undefendable. Lots of love, guys. Please keep liking, subscribing, and sharing. If you want to enter the free draw, just share a video and let me know that you have. Lots of love, and I'll speak to you soon.